I genuinely cannot believe how soft these people are. The hive mind of Trump supporters on Twitter are now attacking Fox News. They're all coordinating to attack Laura Ingraham because she just asked Trump a simple question during their interview last night. So Johnny Maga, which is one of the largest MAGA accounts on Twitter, it has a few 100,000 followers. It says, Laura Ingraham was really combative tonight with Trump. Not a good look. And I will play the clip in 1 second, but this demonstrates how much of a snowflake all of these people are. Laura Ingraham offers the slightest bit of pushback. It's not even pushback. She's basically complimenting Trump, but within it, she's asking him, do you really mean this? Do you really mean that you're going to invade Canada or whatever? And apparently to Johnny Maga, our press that's already aligned with Trump, asking a semi-serious question is being really combative. But read some of the replies. General Mike Flynn is the top reply. I didn't even see this. Mike Flynn is the top reply. It says, the White House needs to stop giving Fox News any more time. And Ingraham ought to run for president if she thinks she's so damn smart. But she thinks she the smartest person in any room. Says Mike Flynn, who used like half of the wrong pronouns and phrases in this tweet. Stone Delta said, what the fuck at Laura Ingraham? You said, I don't think so. For the amount of the deficit with Canada. That was rude as shit to say to a president. No, she's fact-checking the president. It is literally the job of the press to act as a check on the president of the United States, who's arguably one of the most powerful people in the world, but definitely the most powerful person in the country. So we have checks around the president, as in the form of Congress and the courts and the press. The press is a check, just like the courts, and Trump undermines all of those, and everyone's behind him. Someone said, at Ingraham Angle, don't look good, disappointed, interrupting solid points when the president was speaking. She reminded me of Caitlin Collins with the attitude. Come on. Someone said, I don't mind her asking tough questions, but she needs to let the president speak. She does. She does. Everybody's so angry. At Ingraham Angle sucks. She's part of the reason I haven't watched Fox News in many years. At Ingraham Angle is disrespectful and very rude to our Mr. President. So, okay, sorry, I read too many of those. I got kind of caught up in the rabbit hole of angry MAGA supporters. But you see what they're doing there, right? They are demanding absolute and total loyalty from anybody who's even going to interact with the President of the United States, which is just not how it works. That is not how our system works. So let's play some clips from this interview. Let's break them down. Before we play the main clip that has MAGA in a frenzy, has their underwear all bunched up, let's play what happened exactly before it, right before it. Take a look.
Canada was meant to be the 51st state because we subsidize Canada by $200 billion a year. We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We have a lot of lumber.
We kind of need it.
We freed it up, as you know, last week. We're freeing it up so that you can actually cut down a tree without being, given the death penalty. Because what these radical environmentalists have done to our country, but we freed it up. But we don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything. We certainly don't want their automobiles. They make a lot of millions of automobiles are sent in. I'd rather have them made in Michigan. I'd rather have them made in South Carolina or any one of our...
You're tougher with Canada than you are with some
only because...
And there it is. Here's where it starts. Laura Ingraham just called Trump out on a criticism that we all have. She said, quote, it seems like you're tougher on Canada than you are on some of our enemies. This is something I'm saying all of the time, and there's Laura Ingraham spewing liberal talking points. And by liberal talking points, I just mean liberalism aligns more with reality. They always say, reality has a liberal bias, and that's what I feel like right now. Because it's true. It was a simple fact check. And by the way, when Trump is saying we don't need their lumber or we don't need their car parts or anything from Canada, that is a lie. We do need their lumber. We do, at this moment, need their car parts. Now, if you want to tariff Canada or tariff automobile parts across the globe, you can do that, but you have to leave a grace period for those manufacturers in Michigan to build the supply chains. Trump brought up Michigan as an example. It's fine to reshore manufacturing. I'm okay with making America stronger domestically. I mean, that's fine. I'm not inherently against that, but just do it the right way. Don't do it in a way that makes us look foolish on the global stage. Now, Here's where it kind of hits the fan. It doesn't even hit the fan. Laura Ingraham just softly fact checks Trump, and apparently that's even too much for the MAGA fan base because, as I showed you, they had a meltdown. But check this clip out.
You're tougher with Canada than you are with some of our biggest adversaries.
Only
Why?
because it's meant to be our 51st Street. And
okay, but
but listen to this for a second.
We need their territory. They have territorial advantage. We're not going to let them get close to China.
Look,
right?
I deal with every country, indirectly or directly. One of the nastiest countries to deal with is Canada. The people that, now this was Trudeau, the people that good old Justin, I call him Governor Trudeau, his people were nasty.
By the way, he's only reaffirming Laura Ingraham's point that Trump comes up with nicknames, derides and demeans all of our allies while having no nickname for Putin.
And they weren't telling the truth. They never told the truth. You know that, they'd say, well, we don't charge. Well, they do. They charge tremendous. They charge tremendous. And if you look at dairy products, what they've done to our farmers, I'd go up to Iowa, I'd go up to different places, Nebraska, and they would always complain about Canada, how they get ripped off. Do you know that Canada has a 250% tariff? 250, nobody knows that. They charge us numbers that are crazy. We have a very big deficit with Canada, and there's no reason, much more, we have much more. Just so you understand, we subsidize Canada. And I like Canada. I love Canada.
That was the fact check that has MAGA mad, by the way. Let me rewind it just a little bit. Laura Ingraham literally just says, I don't think so. And what she's doing there is soft fact checking him. She knows that he'll snap if she actually does.
50% tariff, 250, nobody knows that. They charge us numbers that are crazy. We have a very big deficit with Canada. And there's no reason, much more, we have much more.
I looked it up multiple times. It's 60 billion.
Just so you understand, we subsidize Canada. And I like Canada. I love Canada. I love Wayne
now
Gretzky.
The Liberal guy,
I love his wife.
The Liberal Party is going to win now in the next election, most likely. And they were down and out. Isn't that going to make them more hostile to us and possibly
I'd rather deal with a Liberal.
Laura Ingraham is referring to the Liberal Party within Canada. The Liberal Party in Canada seems to be in a better position than they were in because the country's sort of uniting. It's like the rally around the flag effect that happens after a disaster, except the disaster is the next door neighbor being an asshole. But let me play this one more time because Laura Ingraham, for as much as I dislike her, I'm sure you dislike her. I'm sure we disagree with her on everything. I don't like her reporting. I don't like what she stands for. All of that being said, of course, all of that being said, I do think she's doing a solid job standing up here. My only thing is, like, why didn't she do this more often or every time or be a real reporter more often?
I love his wife.
The Liberal Party is going to win now in the next election, most likely. And they were down and out. Isn't that going to make them more hostile to us and possibly
I'd rather deal with a Liberal than a
for China, closer to Canada, and that would really put us in a bind.
The conservative that's running.
I don't know. He said, I'd rather deal with a Liberal than a conservative. He also seems very petulant and childish. Watch how he's like, I don't care. I don't care.
Most likely. And they were down and out. Isn't that going to...
I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, we get it, but we know you don't care because I don't even think you understand what tariffs are in the first place. How would we expect you to care? But remember, when I scroll down to the replies, now that I played the clip, let's go back and see what these Trump supporters are saying. Quote, Laura, you need to humble yourself. You aren't as smart as you think you are. You need to remember that you are the journalist, not the president. She was doing the job of the journalist. Am I going crazy here, or did Laura Ingraham literally just slightly fact-check Trump and say, hey, you're wrong about this. Can you stop saying this? She didn't even go that hard, and now they're mad. And then, oh, we actually have a good one. I don't know. I like interviewers to challenge the president as long as it's done respectfully. Okay, there we go. One comment out of the 50. Someone said, I saw the interview on Fox, and as soon as Ingraham started her bullshit, I changed it. Wow, I'm sure that gives you a well-rounded view of the world. Anytime your viewpoint gets challenged even slightly, you just change the channel. Laura Ingraham slightly pushed back, and you just changed the channel. Wow. Not a fan of Laura Ingraham. She was flat out rude and disrespectful. Who got to Laura Ingraham? She was downright rude and hostile. Yeah, I'm sure somebody got to her. I like how the second Fox News begins respecting the truth even slightly. People are like, who got to them? Why is Fox News actually pushing back and telling facts now? Either way, I'll leave it there. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe. I love every single one of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.